It's a bantamweight showdown in the Apex. Dan Tom here with MMA Junkie to help you break down the co-main event for UFC 267, which will be an interim title fight between Petr Yan and Cory Sandhagen. Yan, the former UFC bantamweight champion, was originally set to rematch now champion Aljamain Sterling. He, of course, gave away his title due to an illegal knee and was disqualified, thereby giving his title to Aljamain Sterling. They were supposed to rematch, but Sterling, due to extenuating injury issues, could not make the date, as in steps Sandhagen. Sandhagen, who was last seen losing a very close and competitive split decision to former champ TJ Dillashaw, will be looking to bounce back from that, as he certainly has the motivation to with an interim strap on the line. Of course, Sandhagen, to his credit outside of the close loss, was able to put together two highlight reel wins before that, as I'm sure he's going to be looking to get some of that magic going this Saturday. At the time of this video, the odds makers and public are siding with the former champion in Yan in the neighborhood of minus 245 with the comeback on your underdog challenger, if you will, in Sandhagen with the comeback of plus 194. Now, that kind of spread doesn't surprise me. In fact, it was actually initially opened a bit wider, as money is kind of trickling in on the underdog, as there's some value in there, because we know that Sandhagen is a very talented fighter and an absolute knockout threat. In fact, I think he's going to be a specific knockout threat for this fight, but it's going to be an interesting question. Sandhagen was criticized arguably for maybe not being fundamental enough, perhaps being a little too wild, whether it was the spinning attacks or Granby rolls in his last fight with Dillashaw. However, you could argue that that may actually help him here. In fact, in particular, from uppercuts, flying knees up the middle, to the spin kick we saw land against Marlon Moraes, I think all of those are actually going to be his more livelier strikes in this fight if he is to win. Of course, Petr Yan has a shelling defense that he can see pretty well through, but we've seen knees for fighters who commit to him land at a high clip, as knees and uppercuts can come right down the center with a shelling guard, and these kind of shells can make it hard to see those spins, especially when fighters like Sandhagen are good at throwing something in front of you before spinning in the first place. So, if any of those shots land, do not be surprised. Of course, the high guard also opens up body shots, as I believe body shots, just like leg kicks, are going to be a potent two-way street. Both fighters are really good at attacking said areas, but if you look at the numbers, defense, not particularly their strong suits. They can be competitive, and they can win when fighters challenge them in those areas, but the fact is, just takes one good calf kick, just takes one good liver shot, and as tough as both gentlemen are, those aren't beyond ending either of their nights. So those are shots to look out for in general. However, it's ultimately the cage positioning that is going to have me siding with the former champion here. Yan does his best work when he can get his opponents in between the octagon cage and those inner black octagon lines. That's when he really comes to life. That was the reason why I slightly leaned toward TJ Dillashaw to get his cage pressure going, albeit he does it in a bit of a different way, obviously, with more of a wrestling lean, though he has the shifting combinations as well. So, with the cage positioning being in play, I feel like the footwork, the hand fighting, and all those things are just going to really accentuate Yan's game, especially if he can get on the inside, as he tends to do. I'm going to go with Yan for a fun decision, with late round finishes being on the table, whereas I think early round finishes are absolutely going to be on the table for Sandhagen. It's going to be a dangerous one to bet, folks. I'm going to go with Yan by decision. For more on that, as well as results for this Saturday, go to MMAJunkie.com for my breakdown and more.